Hello guys, welcome to our programming series, Programming with C, and today we'll be talking about the printf function. So let's get started. So today we'll be treating the printf function, and I would like us to create a folder so that we can keep all our files compact in one place so that they don't get messed up. So you can choose whatever directory you prefer, but I will do that on my desktop because that is the easiest place to go to. Actually, you can right click on the screen and create a new folder. Or I usually prefer using the shortcut, that's the Control Shift N. Using the new folder and name it C quotes. And whatever name you prefer, that's on your own preference. Okay, so open the folder, right click, folder, and open with code. So in this, open the code editor in that folder. Okay, so whatever file you create in the file in the code editor now will be in that folder. So you wouldn't have to go close the folder, close the app, and create the file and come back. You can do all within the code editor. So if you do this, you should get this screen, and you might not have any recent open, but this might be your first time using it. Yes, and you might not get the welcome screen anytime you start your code editor. So you can check that in the help and the welcome. When you click it to give you the welcome screen, just like this. Let me close this and try it again. So yeah, it gives you the welcome screen. So you get this screen. Now you have to create a file to write our C code in here. So you come here. The first icon is to create a new file. The second is to create a new folder. The next one is to refresh the Explorer, just in case your machine doesn't show a new file that has been added to the directory automatically. Just refresh it. Refresh the editor and shows the file or folder you have created externally, or sometimes internally, but it doesn't show it. So let's create a new file, and we'll name this file, since it's the printf, let's name it printf.c. Or say printing statement. .c. The reason why we ended it with .c is that C files are ended with .c. That's what it should show. It has text files ended with .txt. Windows, Microsoft Office also ends with .docx. Yes. So that is some kind of identifier to identify the file as C files. And the code editor also gives it the icon. Yours might look different. This is a special extension that gives me this icon. Yours might look different, but you will notice that it is C. So this helps you identify that this is a C file. If you create a new file, like maybe a new file .py, but it gives it a different icon. This is a Python file. That's Ruby, and so on. Like this. Alright. So now we are in our first C file. Now, if you look in the previous videos, so the overview video, we looked at the structure, basic structure of a C program. If you remember, on the first line, we added a preprocessor command. Then the next line, we created a function. So we'll do same in this file, because every C file needs this basic structure. That's the preprocessor command, the function, and whatever is within the function. So let's create let's start code. So hash. So when open this, it should give you suggestions, and in this code editor is called IntelliSense. Okay, it suggests some things you might need or some things you would want to type in when you are coding. So it makes coding much easier. So you type more to narrow it to what you want it to be. Okay, so it runs to up, so you press enter and it fills in the space. Autocomplete 6. Now you edit it. And come down, we create a function int main parentheses curly brackets to show the block of code. Step down. Alright. Okay. So in the previous videos we printed hello world, which is a very basic command in almost every language. When you are trying to learn a new language, you always get to print hello world first. It's becoming a normality, becoming a norm. So you also go by that. Right. So we'll try that function again. So printf hello world. Don't forget to end it with a semicolon. It's called a terminator. It ends every statement. Just like in English, you use full stop to end a sentence. Same happens in programming languages like C. Use a terminator to end each line or each statement. So now save. You could come here to the file and press save, or you can see the shortcuts linked to it. That's Ctrl S. Now I prefer using the Ctrl S because it makes coding simple for me and it saves me time. You might not see the significance now, but you'll be typing a lot of codes and you will find it a bit time wasting to move the mouse cursor to the file and then to save. It might seem time wasting to you, so I prefer using the Ctrl S. I'm sure you would like to use it soon. So let me comment this. With this code editor, you could type the comment manually like this, and whatever you type is seen as a comment. Or you press Ctrl and the / and it does it for you. So let's type this as let's start this the previous print command. And genuinely, this should how we should have done this print statement before, and that is sorry. So then formally we use just printf hello world, and you realize that there's something different about this new command. We brought %s, comma, and then hello world. This seems strange, but this will be along to you very soon. Okay, so actually the printf, though sometimes accepts a single argument, and when I say argument, is what is in between the parentheses. Okay, so arguments are values, variables, or data that are passed into a function within the parentheses, so that it will be used in the function to give you to return something, or to be used for an operation. Okay. So in this case we gave 2 arguments, and in this case we gave 1. Arguments are separated with commas, so as soon as you bring a comma after an argument, it tells you that you're adding another argument. So genuinely it should take at least 2 or more, but it's accept 1, especially when it's a string. But when it's a number or a single character or a float, it doesn't print it because it needs to know what you are passing into the function. So what you put in here see, it's called a format specifier. It specifies the format of the data that is passed in to be printed to the screen. So as you can see, this is a string. So the string is represented with %s, okay, or mode s. I would prefer calling it mode, as in the modulo. Okay, so when we print this, it should print the same thing. So for us to know the difference, I'll make this small h and I'll put this here. This here is called an escape sequence or an escape character. What it means is that when compiling and the compiler gets here, it checks for what comes after this slash. This is the backslash. And the character that comes after it tells the compiler to do something unique. So the n here tells the compiler to step down to a new line. So this is called a new line. So the escape sequence for a new line is \n. You would get to find out how it works in the subsequent videos. So now we can run our code. So you press the F6 button. Okay. Then I print both. The first one with the capital H. And the second one with a small h. Okay. So let's comment this because we'll not be using this anymore. Let's see this. So now let's give this a tag. We'll call it printing strings. Now if you want to print a number, you have to change the format specifier. Let's try that. Printf. How about you guess what? Let me see. So I'm sure some of you might get it right. It's a D, which means decimal. Okay. So decimals are used for numbers, and we have different types of numbers in C. We'll treat that in data types in the subsequent videos. Okay, so now let's add numbers there. So 78, 784. Okay, that's not bad. Then we terminate this statement. Remember to terminate every statement, otherwise it will return an error. Now let's run the code. Realize that it prints the number next to hello world. So we can separate that with this. So it steps it down so that we can differentiate between the two. Let's rerun the code. Yes, realize that the number has been stepped down and it's printed the number. If you mismatch the format specifier, it will obviously generate an error, or it won't show anything at all, or it will show a format of what you have passed to it in a different way. So let's try and see what we will get if we interchange them. So let me bring D here, making it a number, and S here, making this a string. Let me run this again. Okay. Realize that we get a number. This is a result of this. So the decimal value or the numerical value of this string has been presented here. And the string value of 784, which does not exist, didn't show you. I will comment this so that we will know which one was displayed. Let me run this. Realize that nothing was displayed on the screen, which means nothing came from this. Let me comment this. Let me uncomment this. Okay. Save, rerun. realize that it showed a number earlier. So this is a numerical value of hello world with the escape sequence. It could alter by what you put in here. Let me run this. Okay, it's still printed the same thing. I don't know why, but what I want you to understand is that since we used the wrong format specifier, it didn't give us what we expected it to do. Let me replace the format specifier with the correct values. So let me tag this printing integers. So now let's print values with decimal values, as in 1.2, 3 point something. You might wonder why we didn't use that in the former example. Let me try giving it a decimal value and let's see what comes out of it. So 0.85. See. Alright. Gives us a wrong output. You can see whenever I hover the mouse cursor on it, it shows a double, which is how C calls decimal values. And we gave it a wrong specifier, which is D decimals, and a mismatch of specifiers can mess up your output, as you can see down there. So I'll change it back to its initial value, and then let's try printing floats. Printf parenthesis %f, and then so C identifies whole numbers as integers and decimal numbers as float or double, and uses a %f as the format specifier. It's very simple and straightforward. Let's proceed. So comma. I'll enter the previous value used on line 4. That was 784.58. Okay. And I'll separate it with a backslash n. Oh yeah, I forgot the terminator. So do not forget to add a terminator to end every statement. It's very important. Is that it gives us a different value now we have it with the 0.785.00. Okay, so we have different specifiers and I have a file that contains all those stuff. So let me open it. Actually, the link to this file will be added in the video description, so you don't need to worry. To be provided to you. Okay. So this file contains everything, but this looks a bit messy. Let me open it with the code editor. Alright, this is much more presentable. So these are the list of format specifiers we'll be using, and we'll be using a few. That's the character and string, decimals, float. So let's get back and try the last one. That's character. So printing a single character. Alright. Step down. So printf versus quotes percentage C as a single character, comma C D, okay, terminator. So now let's save and run this, but before let me add it a new line. Now let me run. Okay. Alright. Realize that D is the only character printed. But let's check something out. Let's change this to double quotes. And let's rerun the code to see what happens. Realize that it didn't print anything. So you could see the difference between the two. Alright, so in C, single quote and double quote imply two different stuffs, so two different things. So the double quote here is used for strings, as in a set of words, a sentence or a statement or something. But the single quote is used for one character, maybe D, A, E, full stop, comma. C separates them with double quotes and a single quote, as you can see here. So in here, the single quote here is used for D as a single character, and the format specifier for that is %C or modulo C. So that's it for this video. The next video will be treating scanf, which works like printf but is the direct opposite. Catch you in the next video.